Everyone, this is Sandra. Thank you so much for turning here to watch my channel and to hang out with me. So I'm going to be doing another look with the Blue Blood palette today, and I'm very excited because it is going to be completely different. It's not going to be anything dramatic. Well, it might be dramatic. I don't know yet. We're going to go in and just kind of play around. And I don't know what I'm doing, and I love those types of days because when I don't have a set plan in mind, it kind of turns out to be like this awesome look that I had no intention of going in with to begin with, and I'm just kind of excited. So I'm kind of mad at myself actually because of one of the last videos I did, I used cream products for glowy bronze skin, and I said I didn't have a cream highlighter other than the Tarte Gleam Team, and I totally did have this Too Faced Peach Frost Melting Powder highlighter, so I'm a little mad, but maybe we can use it today, so I'm going to see. And this is one of the ones where it just completely falls out of the pan, so it's kind of annoying. And this is actually product, so this is like the bottom side of the pan, and usually it has a blob of glue right in the center, and it's not even in there, so that's kind of like, to me, that's kind of showing really crappy packaging. So I'm going to try to glue it in there after. So let's start off. Go straight in with this Too Faced Hangover RX Replenishing Face Primer because my face feels a little dry. And I'm going to use my Too Faced Born This Way Undetectable Medium to Full Coverage Foundation in the shade Warm Beige. I feel like it's streaky at first until you really blend it out, and I feel like I have to go in a little bit longer with my Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. But I do actually like the way it looks, like right now, it looks pretty good, and once I have my powder on, it looks flawless. So, you know what, I might try different shades of that one in the future. So I'm actually going to use my L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear More Than Concealer, and this is the shade 340 Fawn, so I'm really going to go in for a brightening effect today, and I'm actually going to do my highlighting areas as well. So I'm going to do under the eyes, and we will prime the lids for concealer, and we will not be doing a cut crease today, so I will just go in with a nice powder right off the bat. There we go. And we'll just bring this down a little bit to blend this out. And I really want it to be brightening, so I'm gonna like blend it out, but then I'm gonna leave it like this because I feel like if you leave it for a bit and let it dry, like just like this, it really dries brighter. Like, I'll show you in a minute here. I will show you what I mean. And sometimes I use this technique for date night because I really like having that highlighting and brightening effect under the eye. And we may bake today too, but I am going to be using my Coty Airspun loose face powder. The only downside of this is the smell. So if you are looking for a new powder and you want to try it, that is the one thing that I will warn you that you will probably not like when you first buy it, because that's the one thing I had trouble getting over. But it works that good. Okay. So I'm going to leave the forehead the way it is because I really like that brightening look. But we're just going to blend out this area here. Maybe a little bit on the eyes. So I'm just using the other side of my sponge for this. And I will bake with the sponge. Oh, I love this look. I didn't think I actually liked this shade of concealer in this L'Oreal brand, but for brightening, it does a magnificent job. Okay. So let's go straight in with this powder. I'm just going to dump a whole bunch in the cap. And I'm just going to set the entire face with this, and then we can buff it away with the brush after. I wouldn't mind trying the Fenty powder too. hated. When I say hate, I said hate the concealer. So I'm just going to leave it really bright under the eye because, again, we've already gone in to do our makeup, and I don't want to have any fallout from the eyeshadow that I'm going to be wearing. So we're just going to put like an extra dusting of the powder under the eye, and we can sweep it away after. So I'm going to quickly go in and do eyebrows off camera just to speed things up. I'm going to use all of my favorites, so my Anastasia, all the same products I've been using. I'll link them down below for you guys if you're curious. It's a really dark and dramatic eyebrow. It looks crazy right now, but once I have my eye look on, it's going to look great. It'll look great. Wow, I just like went crazy and great together. So great. Sometimes. Okay, we're going to go in with contour. So I'm going to use my Tarte Park Ave Princess Chisel palette with my infamous, oops, sorry about that, my infamous Sigma F40 large angled contour. I'm just going to kind of go through all the shades here, even the sparkly one. I'm going to use my F64 soft blend concealer for this step, and I'm just going to go in with a couple of the shades here and slightly contour the nose. It's like crazy dark, so I'm just going to go in with my large powder brush and dilute that color. I will use my F10 Sigma, and I'm using my Benefit Dallas blush. Like I said, I don't want a pink color at all today. It's going to be this kind of dusty bronzy rose. Everything just looks so dramatic today. And this is my favorite blush of all time. So I am just blending it up into the contour here. Alright, so we're done with that, and now we're going to go in blue blood. So I really want, I'm going to do like a complete teal look today, kind of go with this sweater here. And I'm going to start by going in with mint tea. So actually I probably should go all over the lid because I feel like my lids didn't get set properly. I still have some concealer that's creasing here. So I lied. Let's go in with our E50 fluff brush here. And I'm actually going to take the shade Wealthy, which is right down here at the bottom. And I'm just going to set my lid properly here because apparently I didn't do it with my powder. So yes, for this look, I don't need to have that wet concealer lay down first. I want to just go in with a minty and do a really nice crease transition color look. Okay, so this really brightens up the eye, but we will go in with an inner corner highlight after. So the first step here is I'm going to use a really fluffy brush. I'm actually just going to go in with this Morphe M573 brush. I'm going to go in with Minty, so this is it here. And while we're at it, I will insert a picture of the swatches right here. Okay, so let's start with Minty. I'm going to get quite a bit on my brush. It's quite powdery, so I'll just tap it off. And start by defining the crease. So this is probably going to be quite a blown out look, so this shade, we can bring it up quite high, and I'm just going to keep adding on color. So I will be going back and forth with each eye here, and even though this is a very powdery shade and it does have quite a bit of fallout, this look, like this shade, is applying absolutely amazing. Like, it is so pretty, and like I feel comfortable, like maybe not going out like this, but if I were to apply this shade just on the lid, this is such a pretty color. And I feel like I'm really not with it today because I just completely took off my powder underneath my eye, and I said kind of the whole purpose of that was to protect the under eye from any fallout. And I was just watching an Angela Bright video, I think it was yesterday, and she got these things called eye shields, and what they are is like, I think you can only put them on before your makeup is like even started, and you just put them on underneath your eye, so it can give you a really nice line for lower lash line, but it also it kind of comes up here so that you don't have any fallout, and then you can also get like that nice sharp line right at the end of your eyebrow area, and I really want to get them, but I guess in the interim tape works just as well, because tape gives you that nice line right here, and then obviously if you haven't got your face makeup done yet, you can just wipe it away with a wipe. So I guess it kind of serves the same purpose, and it is a lot cheaper. So because I think for 30 of those eye shields it's like $22 or $25 or something like that. So I guess it's something I don't really need at the moment. So here we go again, just putting some powder down just to protect the lower area. And then we can take it away once we're done. Okay, so that is sufficiently minty, for my liking. So we're going to leave it like that. And now we're going to go in with another brush. So I'm actually, ooh, there's like 3 more colors I want to use so bad here. Let's see. This brush is just as fluffy, but it's a little bit more tapered. And this is the Morphe M441. So even though it's a bit bigger than this one, it's not quite as like poofy. So I'm going to use this, and I'm going to go in with the shade Flourishing. So this one here, and yeah, Flourishing for sure. I'm just going to go in very lightly, so this is all that's on the brush, and we're just going to put it in the crease as well, but just be a little bit more defined here. So this is going to start darkening up the crease and kind of get to the teal aqua shade that I'm looking for. Just the color of that on the brush, it's so pretty. I'm also just going to gently blend around the outer corner here and just kind of do little circular motions towards the outside of my eye. And now we're going to go back in with the first brush we used and just kind of blend right here. So we're blending Minty into the shade Flourishing, which is that darker teal color. And I'm doing this with a very light hand. So next what we're going to do is add a really darker shade now. So I'm going to go in with Deceased, which is more of a blue tone, but it's kind of blue tone, which is kind of teal. And I'm going to use this Buff and Blend brush, which is the E39 by Sigma. So I'm going to take this shade, and this was Deceased, and I'm just going to apply it to the outer corner here. I'm applying this with my dry brush, and it's not really darkening up as fast as I want it, but I'm hesitant to go in with a wet brush because then it's just really hard to blend. And this is a little bit of a satin color, so it might not be as hard as a matte shade would be, but I don't really want to take the chance. I'm just going to pack this color on. So here you can see it is finally going on now. So I'm just going to pack this shade on the outside corner as much as I can here, just to get it dark. That is really, really pretty. Okay, so we're going to go in and do the same thing on this eye now. So each of these eyes is now sufficiently deceased. Wow. So before, I don't really want to go in with the previous brush to blend it because I like this color payoff. I think if I blend it now with the previous brush, it's just going to come off. So I'm going to take the brush that this color Deceased is already on here, this Buff and Blend, and I'm just going to stamp around the edges so it's not so dramatic and have this really harsh edge here. But I'm not going to go in with another brush and blend it right now. So I'm just delicately kind of going over the edges here. And there's no more new product on this brush. I'm just kind of blending the edges by dotting the brush over that area. And as you can see, there is a lot of fallout, but this color is darker, so it makes a little bit of sense. Okay, so now we are going to go in with a wet brush. So this is the same brush I added the shade entitled to the previous time I used this color. So I'm actually just going to wet it again. I am going to use my MAC Fix Plus this time because last time I did the Make It Dewy by Milani. So just a little bit of wetness on there, and then I'm going in with Entitled, which is this lovely shade right here. It's like my favorite shade in this palette. And I'm going to apply this to kind of like the inner corner and the middle of the eye. And we'll have to like blend it into the shade Deceased delicately. Oh, that is so pretty. I'm in love with this palette, you guys. So cool. So glad I got it. Okay. So actually those two shades, because this one is a satin and then this Entitled shade is a shimmer, they blend so well together. I haven't even really blended them and they just go so well. Like it's not even that harsh of a line, really. So we only have a couple more steps to do, and I'm actually just going to go use the brush that I applied mint tea to. I'm going to put a little bit more mint tea on the brush and then gently, gently blend out the edge. I know I said I wasn't going to, but it's not blending as well out here. I just won't blend this line here. There we go. I feel like it's really blown out right now, but that's okay. So I'm going to go in with my large F20 and just wipe away this fallout. So that powder underneath the eye worked amazing. And I kind of feel like I just came too far, like out with all of this color here. So I want to go in with a clean brush and just kind of I'll take the shade Wealthy because it's as close to my skin tone right now. And it doesn't really matter what brush you're using. I'm just using the All Over Blend E37. And I'm just going to clean up a little bit around here because I don't want some of this color like all over my brow area. So even here, I'm just going to delicately clean up any of these lines here. There we go. I'm going to go back in with that first brush I used, mint tea, and just kind of blend out this outside corner here. Perfect. So I'm going to kind of brighten up the inside corner. I'm going to take a brush that is hopefully clean, and I want to go in with Cullinan, but I'm just going to try Crystal Flesh first, this one here. And maybe I'll mix Cullinan and Crystal Flesh. And let's just put a pop of brightness right here. That works really well, actually. And I'm just going to blend it down here to the lower lash line a bit. And then this brush is kind of too big for this step, but I'm just popping a little bit of this Cullinan and Crystal Flesh under the eyebrow. Perfect. Now for the lower lash line. So I actually just want to go in with my flat definer, so my E15. And I'm going to go straight in with Deceased, and we're going to blow it out with Entitled. So I'm just going to stamp this brush in the shade Deceased and stamp it on my lower lash line here. And this shade we're just going to bring to about the halfway point of the eye. And now I'm going to take this really, really skinny mini, it's an E36 blending brush. I'm going to take Entitled on this little brush here and just blend out the shade Deceased all over the lower lash line here. I feel like bits of the particles of eyeshadow are getting in my eye, so I'm just closing my eye here. And I'm not going to have this quite as blown out as I did the previous date night look with this palette. And then because I lost a little bit of that color, I'm just going to go back in with my brush, if I can find it, and put a little bit more Deceased on there and just stamp it into the outside here. And I kind of feel like this acts as an eyeliner because a little bit gets on your water rim when you press this into your lower lash line. And it looks really cool. There we go. So that is it for the palette. Again, I have a little bit of fallout, so I'm just going to brush that away. So now we're going to go in with highlighter quick before I forget, because I know I'll forget that step. And here is my palette that I am using. This is the Flower Beauty. Take my F35 highlighter tapered brush. I'm going to go in with the shade, the neutral kind of champagne tone shade, and just lightly dust my upper cheekbones here. My nose, upper lip, chin. I'm going to use my Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder just to give my face an all-over glow. And I already have, on my F30, I already have bronzer on there, so I'm going to use this Dual Fiber F50 by Sigma. So it's a dual fiber, so it does not pick up much product, which is perfect for this. So this is Luminous Light, and I'm just going to swirl my brush in there. You can see it's picked up hardly any powder at all. Gently brush it on my cheek area, chin, nose, and a little bit on the forehead. And then we are going to line the upper lash line. So I'm going to use, again, my Tarte Sex Kitten because I really enjoy this liner. So I kind of messed up here, but I'm just going to use a Q-tip to clean that up. So I did a fairly thin line. I'm going in with my Tarte Maneater. And I was going to do lashes, but we're going to see what it looks like with just the mascara, and then we'll come back and show you. And then I'll decide whether I'm going to do lashes or not. We will be right back. Okay, so mascara is done. I have a couple of oopsies. I'll just clean up with a Q-tip when I'm all done and it is dried. I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is because I don't want to put lashes on right now. I think I'll ruin my liner. But I do want a really light sparkly lip gloss. I haven't been using my Buxom lip glosses lately, so I don't know what's wrong with me. Because honestly, you guys, they are my favorite. I'll still get colored lip glosses, but I'm just a fan of these gorgeous, beautiful lip glosses. So I'm going to be crazy today and use the shade Princess, which is like this purple color. It doesn't go on purple, but it just looks so pretty. Okay, that is good, and I love the way this looks together. Really like the eyes. I think this is more of a wearable look compared to my date night look that I did the first Blue Blood palette video. The only thing I kind of would like to do, like I feel like the inner corner highlight isn't bright enough for me. So I'm just going to go back in with Crystal Flash and Cullinan and just kind of pack it on a little bit and see if it brightens it up. I don't want it to be too white, so I am kind of mixing the two. I think that's good. It helps, like part of me feels like I want to darken up the outside of this color, but then if I do, I might not be happy with it. And that shade Deceased is just so pretty. I love it. I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is. And that is the completed look. So you guys, let me know what you think about this in the comments below. And like, show me pictures of what you've come up with if you own this Blue Blood palette. Again, you've seen the swatches, and here it is once more. It is just so pretty. I love this palette. And I mean, it's kind of bulky for traveling. Not that I do a lot of traveling like by airplane or anything, but if I was, or even to take it to Red Deer or something like that, it's kind of bulky and a pain in the butt. But I mean, it's worth it because then you can do awesome blue eyeshadow looks like this. And I guess, I'm not sure if this is blue or green. I'm just going to call it a like teal or aqua. I love those colors. Okay, I can't get over saying how much I love it. Okay, you guys have a fantastic day, and we will talk to you next time. Take care of yourselves. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.